This is my buyer net sheet I ran the hour I wrote an offer on a house I bought in May 2005. As gang stalkers ran us out of the house, it was the fourth property I owned, and I planned for it to be the last house I ever bought. And I shopped for the house for 4 years. I wrote 5 offers before the offer I wrote in May 2005 on the perfect house that fit my buyer's criteria. And the the hour I wrote the offer, I ran my buyer net sheet to show my payment, and it shows on here approximately 3,000 a month, 100 for the second loan. I ran my seller net sheet, and that shows 368,000 equity, as I was a professional real estate agent who bought my own property and sold my own property, who knew exactly what I was doing as a real estate expert. And this was offer number 6 that I had written after shopping for the right house for my family for 4 years. And the other 5 offers I wrote were contingent on selling the 2-story. This house was perfect, exactly what I was looking for. I wanted a house with a spiritual ambiance. I wanted a 1-story for my mother to live with us. I needed that. And I wanted my younger daughter to have a larger bedroom. And the house was in the same city, county, and school district as our 2-story tract home we'd lived in for 4 years. And again, this was the fourth property I owned, and I planned for it to be the last house I ever bought, and gang stalkers ran us out. My psychic medium readings say they've robbed me for 20 years by lying to banks that I bought a house so quick without thinking that cost too much. Well, no, it did not cost too much. I got loan approval for the house. I had the down payment from the 2-story house and my real estate income. I qualified for the countrywide mortgage and bought the house with flying colors. I had 400,000 equity in the 2-story property that I listed for sale February '05, and I wrote an offer on this house May 2005. My daughter saw it the day I wrote the offer and loved it. My mother saw it during the escrow and loved it. My mortgage broker saw it during the escrow and loved it. And they said it was a great investment and no problem getting me loan approval. The hour I wrote the offer, as I said, I ran home and I did my buyer closing cost sheet. That's what I did as a real estate lady for buyers. So that's what I did for myself. And I saw my payment would be around 3,000 a month. I ran my seller net sheet and it shows 368,000 in equity. I faxed my offer to my mortgage brokers, Sharon and Brad Pfeiffer, Regency Brokerage. They faxed me a loan approval letter the hour I wrote the offer. My offer was accepted, and I bought the house, and it went perfectly. I got a swing loan from my 2-story. I borrowed 350,000 in equity from my 2-story house, and put it in the bank and bought the 1-story with my 2-story house equity. Is a very smart real estate lady who knew how to get a swing loan on the house you're selling to buy another house. Then I sold the 2-story for $750, paid off the swing loan I borrowed from it to buy the 1-story, and I got another $50,000 at the close of escrow. And it went perfectly with my real estate expertise. And my readings say gang stalkers have robbed me blind for 20 years by lying about the house I bought in May '05 that I bought when I was a real estate expert with my money, as I owned the 2-story alone, as I was legally separated like a divorce January 2000. I had not been with my ex-husband 5.5 years when I bought a house in May '05. And my readings say they lied, that Nancy Fox just got divorced and ran and bought a house so quick without thinking that cost too much. Well, no, I'd not been with my ex-husband 5.5 years. I shopped for the house for 4 years. I wrote 5 offers before the house I bought in May '05, and it went perfectly, and I planned to stay in the house the rest of my life and said, that's the last house I am ever buying. So my payment ended up being $27.50 a month, not $3,000, and that was for 7 years. And now I'll show you my seller. This is my seller net sheet. This shows the equity in the two-story. I ran these sheets the hour I wrote the offer, as I said, to see how much would I make if I reduced the two-story I listed early March '05 to $750. So I ran this to see how much equity I'd have in the house to buy the one-story house, as I was a real estate agent who figured it out diligently and planned to stay in the house with my family, as I said. And so that's why I keep explaining it. And it's all explained on abolishcps.wordpress.com. As we were gang stalked, and that was very mean to do to a hard-working single mother who worked so hard to buy a home for my family, for my 2 daughters, and my mother, who was going to live there with us in the one story. Was very wrong to work against us and run us out of the property. And it appears the gang stalkers who vandalized, catnapped, broke in the car, robbed property, stole true religions from their house, swarmed around, scared us to death, knocked the mailbox on the ground twice, stalked it. Appears are the ones who probably were the anonymous liars who framed me, an overnice mother, to DCFS in spring-summer '09. And their lies were dismissed without prejudice in the court of law. Dismissed. So if anybody tells those lies to banks and post offices, lies the court ruled untrue, if the lies are in writing, that is called libel. That would be called bank fraud. That would be called robbing somebody's money with bank fraud. Libel in writing. Lies the court ruled untrue. And my reading says that is what the gang stalkers are doing. And they planned to frame me, an overnice mother who's sober in Alcoholics Anonymous since age 25. A mother who's an expert in parenting, who's more calm and patient than most. And I bought a house for my daughter's teenage, young adult, college, university years that was perfect for their lives. It's a two-story, was for their childhood, to play in a big backyard with a swing set with lots of neighborhood kids on the street. And that was wonderful for 8 years. This house was for teenage college years. Large bedrooms, large bathroom, double sinks, indoor laundry room, one story for my mother, a bedroom for my mom, and a great location to sell many estates from, which I was doing. I knew I'd make more money by living there in that neighborhood, by that alone. I knew I'd make money on the property by updating an original dated home. What I did was very smart, and I worked very hard to do this for my family. And my readings say many plan to rob my real estate business out from under me. That's why they stole my real estate listing portfolio by breaking in my Toyota Highlander car. And my readings say that they framed me outright. And my reading says they lied, that I was about when I went out in '05 after losing weight and wearing True Religion jeans. And I went to AA meetings in Malibu, AA conventions. As a longtime sober, spiritual, good person, a good daughter, a good mother, a cat lover, and a homebody who loves their home and home life. And I worked hard for what I had, and they ruined it. And they slandered me, lied about me, catnapped, vandalized, stalked the mailbox, broke it twice, broke in the car, robbed property, and $1,000 of my True Religion jeans went missing from the house. And my reading